Hi, this is Harish here. Welcome to DB2 LUW Tips and Tricks video tutorial part 14. In this tutorial, I'm going to talk about DB2 Relocate DB Utility. It is a very simple yet powerful utility. It can do multiple things for you. In this video tutorial, I'm going to talk about two scenarios. One is copy or move an entire database from, say, a source server to a target server. Or the second scenario is modify the storage or container path of an existing database. This slide talks about certain scenarios, limitations, the advantages and disadvantages with them. Scenario 1 is to copy or move an entire database. So option 1 is to use a traditional approach of backup and restore. The advantage here is the database can be online, and the disadvantage here is it consumes time and resources threefold. So why it is threefold is like you have to first backup the database, then you have to transport the image from source server to the target server, then you have to restore the particular image in the target server. So if database size is 1 terabyte, then effectively you are looking at 3 terabytes of volume of data. The second option to achieve the same functionality is you can use the DB2 look utility to generate the DDL, the database structure. Then you can use the data movement utilities such as DB2 move, export, import, load utilities to export the data and load the data into the target server. So this is particularly useful when you're using like a cross platform, like your source database is a AX one and the target database is a Windows one, so wherein your backup restore kind of a process won't work. The advantage again here is the database can be online. The objects are at the table level granularity. So what happens is like you will have a lot of IXF files or DEL files depending on the format you use for export and import and load. So you will have to deal with a lot of IXF files or DEL files, whereas in the option 1 there is only one or multiple backup images. That's it. In scenario 2, modify the storage or container path of database. So in this actually scenario, this can be again achieved by two options. Option 1 is like you can add the new storage path or the container path, drop the old path and trigger a rebalance. Implicitly the rebalance will be triggered when the containers are dropped. Option 2 is to unload the table space, create a new table space with the new path and then reload the data back. So these are the two options through which we can achieve this. So how the scenario 1 and scenario 2 can be addressed using the Relocate DB utility is what we are going to see. DB2 Relocate DB utility is very simple to use, but it contains the highlighted 3 steps. So the first step is copy or move data into the desired locations, which means that the DB2 Relocate DB utility will not actually move the data for you or copy the data for you. It is like an external thing. You have to move or copy the data into desired locations. What we mean by data here is all your containers, all your database directories, all the internal files of an entire database. So everything you have to move to desired location into desired paths in the new server. Say from source server to target server you are moving, so you have to move that manually, either through file system. It can be even a simple file system copy command through which we can move this data, okay, or copy the data. Next step is to prepare a configuration file mapping. So here is where the real power of the Relocate DB utility comes in. So based on this configuration file, you can achieve multiple things. Like the contents of the configuration file will have DB names, old, new. So which means that what is the old DB name and what's the new DB name. So when you are copying, it will also rename the database. So similarly, instance name, what is the old and what is new. So which means you can also move or copy a database from one instance to another instance. You can achieve that kind of a functionality also. Then what is the storage path, old, new. What is the container path, old, new. Archival log directory, old, new. The list goes on. So please refer to DB2 Information Center for a detailed list of these old and new pairs that we can give. So once the configuration file mapping is prepared as per the requirement for our functionality, we can run the DB2 Relocate DB utility. So DB2 Relocate DB -f, the configuration file, the path to the configuration file. That's all. So the DB2 Relocate DB utility will not move the data, it will just recatalog the database as per the new structure that you have specified using the configuration file mapping. Okay, now what are the limitations? Again, the database has to be offline, the source database has to be offline here, because we are copying or moving the data into desired location, right? So that time, if some other DB2 process is changing the data inside the files, then it will not be consistent. So the database, we cannot be sure that it is a consistent database. So the source database has to be offline, and the target instance should not have any existing databases. Okay, it should be like a new instance for an if the target instance should be a new instance, or it should be an instance without any existing database in it. It's because actually we are copying all the files, so when we copy that, we are copying the containers, which is not a real issue, but we are copying also the internal DB directories. So all your local database directory, everything will be copied. The SQL DB dir, those also will be copied. So there will be a conflict. Okay, so you will see that in that examples. Okay, okay, the first scenario we are trying to, the example is how to copy or move an entire database. Okay, the database is already created. The database that we are going to use is create.db mydb on. So it contains two storage paths, sp1 and sp2, and the database path is on home DB2 inst1. So this database has already been created. I'm just showing you here. So this is the database command that was used for creation of the database. It contains two storage paths and one DB path. Then we am connecting to mydb. So there will be 3 default table spaces created, and apart from that, I am creating my SMS table space with 2 containers, SMS1 and SMS2. My DMS is a file, it's a DMS container with DMS1 and DMS2. So if you look at home DB2 inst1 DMS1/DMS1.dbf, so this is one container, and DMS2/DMS2.dbf is another container. Okay, and we have 2 tables, table A and table B, which have some sample values in them, and I have taken a snapshot of table spaces to look at. Okay, so we'll look at the snapshot command output. /home DB2 inst1. So here the snapshot command output. So here you can look at syscat space is using number of containers is 2. Home DB2 inst1 sp1 inst1 node 00 catalog. Similarly, home DB2 inst1 sp2 inst1 node 00 c001 dot catalog. So these 2 containers for syscat space. Similarly, for temp space, it is in sp1 and sp2. For user space 1, it is again in sp1 and sp2. My SMS, it is in inst1 and SMS1 and SMS2. My DMS is again DMS1 and DMS2. That's it. Okay, so this is the output of the command. So so this is where our so we want, what we functionality we want to achieve is copy the database mydb from DB2 inst1 to DB2 inst2. Okay, so for that I am going to log in as DB2 inst2 first. Okay, so the copy portion begins su-db2 inst2 DB2 inst2. Okay, so first we have to manually copy all the files. Okay, I am making new directories. So the sp1 storage path will be mapped to sp1_new, sp2 storage path will be mapped to sp2_new. Similarly for SMS1, SMS2, DMS1, DMS2. So I am making the directory and I am changing the file permissions so that the inst1 can copy into this. Okay, so everything is done. Next one is login as DB2 inst1, and I am going to copy the files. So first I am copying the storage paths. So I go to inst1, paste it. So all this is the process where we are copying all the internal database files. So all the storage path needs to be copied, all the container path needs to be copied, all the database directory SQL DBDIR itself needs to be copied. So that's what we are doing here. And I'm here and look at this is an important step. So what happens is inside the storage path sp1 you will find like whenever you copy inside that storage path sp1 you will find db2inst1 as an instance name there. Okay, so that needs to be changed as instance 2. The file structure has to be same because we are moving from inst1 to inst2. Look at the change here. sp1 new will have a directory inst1 actually. Okay, so that one needs to be changed to inst2. So copy that. Okay, that is also done. Then the SMS and DMS containers. Okay. That is also done. And then I am changing the ownership of the files back to inst2. Okay. Copy. So for this I need to be logged in as sysadmin or the OS admin. So I'll exit from this time being. Sudo su hyphen. Okay, I'll do a paste. All the ownership is changed. Then I have to log in as sp2 and change the ownership back to inst2. Not the ownership, the file permissions, like 700, for the owner full access, and for the group and others no access. Like that I'm just changing it. This has to be done under inst2. Okay, so let me exit from here. su hyphen db2inst2 db2inst2. Okay, so all the file permissions are given. Okay, next what we are doing is, so this is all the storage path and the container paths have been copied. Now what we are going to do next step is copy the DB path and the SQL DBDIR directory. Okay, for that I have to log in as db2inst2. Okay, I am making the directory db2inst2, making a directory node 000. Then I am changing the file permissions again. Okay, done. Next is from inst1 I have to copy the home db2inst1 inst1 node 00 sql 002. So this directory has to be copied into home db2inst2 inst2 node 00. So all this file structure has to be changed accordingly, because wherever this inst1 is there, it has to be replaced by inst2, because we are moving from one instance to other instance. So copied that as well. Paste it. Okay, done. Then log in as sysadmin and change the ownerships. Copy. For that I will have to exit from here. Sudo su hyphen. Okay, ownership is changed. Next step is login as inst2 and again change the file permissions. Okay, that is also done. So this is all one step actually. So we have just at an OS level we have used the copy commands to copy the content of MyDB from inst1 to inst2. So we have to do it for the storage paths, for the container paths, for the DB path, and for the SQL DB dir. Okay, so everything we have done. The next step is to prepare the relocate.cfg file. Okay, so this is the command that we need to execute. So first we need to prepare the relocate.cfg file. Okay, the CFG file is already prepared actually. So I'll show you the CFG file. So relocate.cfg DB2 inst2. Okay, so this is the relocate.cfg file we have prepared. Here the DB name is MyDB. So I am not giving a old comma new value because I don't want to change the name of the database. So from source server to target server, when it is copied, the name of the database still remains MyDB. DB path, it is changed from home DB to inst1 to home DB to inst2. Then the instance name, it's changing from inst1 to inst2. Node number, that's not changing, it's not a partitioned database like that. It will be used for some partitioning kind of techniques. Storage path, so from sp1 the storage path is getting moved to sp1 underscore new. Look at the home directory as well. From inst1 sp1 it is moving to inst2 sp1 underscore new. Similarly for storage path 2 also we have prepared old path and the new path. For the containers also we have moved sms1 to sms1 underscore new, sms2 is mapped to sms2 underscore new, dms1 is mapped to dms1 underscore new, dms2 is mapped to dms2 underscore new. So this is a very simple file. So we are not renaming the database, we are moving copying the database from inst1 instance to inst2 instance, and we are changing the storage paths and the container paths. So this is the functionality that we are achieving through this relocate.cfg file. So once we have specified that, prepared that, the rest of the command is very simple. Just we have to run this one command, relocate db-f relocate.cfg file. That's it. So we have to run this in the target server. Okay. So we are in logged in as inst2. So here we have to run that command. Okay. So what it will do is it will recatalog now the database MyDB as per the new structure. Okay, so the file or device cannot be opened. Let's check whether it is there in that path. Okay, it is there. Reload. It's a weird problem. We'll check it out. Okay, our path is actually incorrect. So cd $home. Okay, now the relocate.cfg is there. Okay, so now we can run that command. Okay. Okay, see the files and control structures were changed successfully. The database was cataloged successfully. So if you look at now DB2 list DB directory, so you will find that MyDB is there in inst2, and it says here, see, cataloged by DB2RELOCATEDB. So this particular database has been cataloged by the utility. Okay, it's not a creation by a creation of the database we did not get, or because of a restoration we did not get the database here. It is cataloged by the RelocateDB utility. Okay, and another important thing to look at it is, look at this one also, copy, DB2 list DB directory on home DB2 See, here you will find two databases. See, this is because we are copying the SQL DBDAR, right? So at that time the local database directory is also getting copied as such. So MyDB is our database which we copied. Okay, the data has been moved. Test is actually some other database which is there in instance 1. So in that path, so that is also showing as such because we copied the DB directory as such. So this is what the limitation that we were talking about. So you should if the target instance is a new instance, it's very good. Without any databases, it is very clear because there won't be any conflicts in the SQL 001, SQL 002 naming, and there won't be this kind of unwanted entries. So this is a limitation that we have to live with this tool, Relocate DB Utility. Okay, and all these during all these operations, the instance was not at all started actually. If you look at, so now only we are starting the instance. We'll connect to the database and see whether all the structures have been created properly and all that. Okay. So what we'll do is we'll connect, we'll list the tables, we'll select the table A and table B. There should be two tables, and we'll get snapshot of the table spaces. Okay, the start is successful. Now I am connecting to MyDB under inst2. Okay, there should be two tables, table A and table B. The records are shown, and the snapshot is also got, and snap underscore tbsp underscore rel dot out. So we'll just look at that. DB2 inst2 snap underscore rel dot out. So here you can see that syscat space is there. It is using home DB2 inst2 sp1 underscore new DB2 inst2. That's the container. So number of containers is 2, and we cannot change the number of containers. The number of containers should be the same. Okay. Similarly, for temp space 1, sp1 new, sp2 new. For user space 1, sp1 new, sp2 new, 2 containers. My SMS, SMS1 new, SMS2 new under inst2 directory. Similarly, for my DMS, DMS1 new, DMS2 new. That's it. So the contents are copied successfully. The storage paths and container paths are everything has been changed successfully. So this is how simple it is. Only it involves a data copy portion, then just running that utility. The utility will not even take, like the relocate DB utility will not even take like 3 seconds or 4 seconds to run. Okay. Now we'll look at the next scenario, modifying the storage or container path of an existing database. Okay, so we have seen that the MyDB is there in the inst1. Okay, so let's first stop the DB2 connect reset, DB2 stop. We'll stop the instance 2. We don't want the instance 1 instance 2 anymore, so we'll just turn off this. Okay, so we are working on the inst1. So the inst1 is a source server, source instance. So in that we have MyDB. I have shown you this output already. Okay, so what I am going to do here is I am going to modify the storage path sp2 to storage path sp3, and SMS2 container, the SMS table space, the container SMS2 is getting moved to SMS3, and DMS2 container is getting moved to DMS3. Okay, this is what I am going to do here. So first we'll log in as inst1, we'll make the new directories, we'll copy the contents, and then we'll remove the old directories. It's as simple as that. So copy that, get into inst1. Let me clear this. So we have made sp3, sms3, dms3, and we are copying recursively the contents of sp2 to sp3, sms2 to sms3, dms2 to dms3, and we have removed the old directories. So the storage path 2 is off of the database, SMS2 is also off of the database, DMS2 is also off of the database. So only one container we are changing for SMS and DMS, and one storage path we are changing. There are actually two containers for storage path. There are two storage paths and two containers for SMS and DMS, but we are modifying only one of them. And we have to prepare the relocation.cfg file. So reloc.cfg. So we'll just look at that. nst1 reloc.cfg. It's already prepared. So the database name is not changing, MyDB. The DB path is not changing. The instance is the same. So for the same existing instance only, we are only modifying the storage path from SP2 to SP3, SMS2 to SMS3, DMS2 to DMS3. That's it. Okay. So this is the reloc.cfg that we have prepared. We have placed it here. Now we just need to run this utility. Copy. Okay, so we'll just check. Yeah, reloc.cfg is available. Okay, now we can run the utility. Okay, now the tool completed successfully. We can start the instance, connect to the database, and look at all the contents. So the instance is started. Now it's connecting to MyDB. Okay, there should be two tables, yes, and two tables are listed. The entry is listed here. Okay, so table A and table B are there intact with all the existing records, and we have taken the snapshot. Okay, we'll look at the snapshot file, snapshot of the table spaces. And there are test database and MyDB. MyDB is the one which we have modified. Test database remains unchanged. Okay, and in the home DB2 path, there will be again two directories, test and MyDB. This is the local database directory. Okay, so everything seems to be fine. So we'll go look at the relocate.out. So syscat space, number of containers is 2. Look at the path change. SP1 is not changed, but SP2 is changed to SP3. Right? Two containers, the storage path is changed. Similarly, temp space, storage path is changed. User space 1, storage path is changed, SP3. My SMS, SMS container is changed. So old container SMS1 remains there. The SMS2 container got changed to SMS3. Okay. Similarly, my DMS, the DMS1 remains intact. The DMS2 got changed to DMS3. Okay, that's it. So it's a very simple yet powerful tool to use. You can achieve multiple things using the DB2 relocate DB utility. Okay, it's a very simple command which can be used. That's it in this video tutorial. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe to my channel DB2 LUW Academy. Thank you all. See you in next video. Bye bye.